Working as an au pair in the Netherlands, the requirements, the process, the costs, and the agents. This is something that I'm going to be telling you about in this video, as per requested by so many of you. So very important to note, we also have already videos about au pair, working as an au pair, for example, in Germany or generally in Europe. You just have to check out our migration list, which I'll be updating today and sorting out, and you can find further information. So focusing particularly on the Netherlands, I will start with the general requirements. As usual, you require a passport, you require to be someone that has no criminal history. That means there's a form you fill out to prove that you are not a danger to the country. And then if you're coming from some third countries, for example, depending on the country that you're coming from, you'll have to test for tuberculosis on arrival. We're going to dive into the requirements that apply to you and the host family. If you're looking to work as an au pair, again, you must be between, unlike Germany, for example, or France, you must be between the ages of 18 and 25. So older than that, there's slightly almost no chance, because the Netherlands has a totally different system when it comes to au pair visas, which is issued under the work requirements. The other requirement that you must have is you can't get an au pair visa if you're married or if you have children that are dependent on you, that is foster children, not your own children, but foster children. If you have not had a resident permit in exchange of the Netherlands before, that means you can't get an au pair visa, for example, if you've been, like if you study in the university in the Netherlands, you always get that extra 1 year, just like everywhere in Europe, to stay and look for a job. So once you've ever had that kind of visa, that kind of residence permit, you can't get an au pair visa. If you are going to live with a host family, which is a no-brainer, then you must be registered with the host family, and the host family must be registered in the BRP database. That is the same as German, because, well, again, like the word says, host family, so it has to be a legitimate family. You are not supposed to be related to the family, again, same as German and Europe, and it should be a family of 2 people. That means it's still traditional, like it has to be mom and dad, mom and mom, dad and dad, but it has to be at least 2 people living in the family. That means 2 adults. And they should have Dutch nationality or a valid residence permit for the Netherlands. Your host family must meet the income requirements, absolutely, just like Germany. They must show proof that they have the financial means to pay you, to pay your salary, and then they also have the financial means to sponsor someone to come and work as an au pair. Because as I'm going to be explaining to you, you'll notice that the biggest part of the job actually lies on the shoulders of the host family. And again, you can only get the work permit as an au pair if you've never worked with this particular family before. So you can't say, I worked for them maybe in 2000 and 5 years later they still want to have me as an au pair. That is not possible. If you've ever worked for them as an au pair in the Netherlands or even abroad, as long as they are Dutch citizens, you won't be getting the work permit as an au pair. And again, for being related, I explained to that, cousin, niece, uncle, distant relative, whatever, for as long as you are related, you can't work for a Dutch family as an au pair. That means they can't be issued a work permit. If you're going to live in the Netherlands as an au pair, that is where I wanted to say the little bit of differences, for example, between German and the Netherlands. You can't get a job or a placement through any kind of agency or just registering online. In the Netherlands, they have particular au pair agencies that are recognized, that are accepted, and only then, if you get a job contract through this au pair agency, you get a work permit. If you get a job contract through paying, third parties, like the people who have been scammed, you will not get an au pair visa and work permit for the Netherlands. So like I said, I can't put all details here, and of course the extra services that I offer, for people that will be interested in that, you can DM me for consultations, and I'll link you up with all the proper agencies where you can put your CVs and start your process of applying for the au pair jobs and hooking up with different families to match and see which family suits you and again, for the families also to decide if you sort them. So of course, very important, like in the contract, it will be stipulated what kind of tasks you'll be doing. So you'll be doing housekeeping hours, 8 hours a day. You're not supposed to, for example, to take care of the old, because some people do that. They employ someone as an au pair, and then when this person gets here, they want them actually to take up the caregiver role. That is not your job, and it's supposed to be stipulated in the contract. If something like that happens, you are very free to report that, because that would be abuse of contract. And then you have a right to days off. That means 2 days a week. You'll be working 8 hours a day and for a maximum of 30 hours a week. So if someone, I find that amazing, which is the same as Germany. I have many clients working in the, for example, in the Middle East. They're totally exploited, where someone tells me, I wake up at 6 and I work till 3 a.m. in the morning. That would never happen here in Europe. That is ridiculous. And if it happened, you'd definitely be protected and you could report that, you know. So it's very, very important to keep that in mind. You and the host family will make a schedule for all the 7 days a week. That is again an advantage for you. It might sound ridiculous, but it's an advantage for you as an au pair, because it means you are protected, you know. You'll be knowing, what are my roles? What am I supposed to do? For example, if they are kids, what is my job? Do I have to take them to school? Do I have to cook for them? Do I have to do their homework? Or what exactly are my responsibilities? And both you and the family will sign this schedule. So if the family says, on Monday you take the kids to school, on Wednesday you cook for them, on Thursday you go with them to extracurricular activities like football and all that hobbies, you sign it, you know, and the family also signs it. So you're protected. If a family comes up and they're spontaneous, like, oh, you know what, on Friday actually we want you to spend 7-8 hours just running around with your son, and that wasn't part of the program, you are protected and you can say no, because it helps you get a structure. The schedule includes, for example, how many hours of light housekeeping. Light housekeeping means you're not going to be like the housekeeper who cleans and mops and irons. No, your job is actually to take care of the kids. But light housekeeping, that means like maybe cooking for the kids, or maybe sorting their wardrobe and that kind of thing. So they have to show what kind of light activities you're going to do in the week, which 2 days of the week you have your free, you know, your free days when you're off. Who does the light housekeeping tasks besides the au pair? You understand? So that means you're not responsible for the general housekeeping. And the person's name must be given. The Netherlands is so amazing. They're so strict, but I find that interesting and good for the au pair anyway. Going on, of course, if you have not, like I said, if you have not signed a contract with the au pair family or host family, and you sign a contract with the agency, it is invalid, because again, the agency is not going to host you. That's why I said, for those of you who are so naive and people promise you, oh, I'm going to get you an au pair job and you just have to sign here and I'll do everything for you, you'll never get a work permit for the Netherlands. The contract must be between you and the host family, which is a no-brainer. The agency is just responsible for matching the families and the au pair person. So keep in mind, no one can tell you, just sign a contract with us and then everything will be sorted. The contract should be signed between the au pair and the host family. The Netherlands is trying to, you know, to clamp down on scammers, I guess. So if someone, normally the au pair agencies are not supposed to like charge you for a lot of money. Yes, they can charge up to a maximum of, I think, roughly 34 euros for, you know, the logistics and all. But if someone now scams you and they're like, oh, give me 3 million, I'll get you an au pair family in the Netherlands, just know that is absolute bollocks. You'll never get the work permit, because the system in the Netherlands tries so hard to protect the people and to avoid such behaviors, I would say, and activities. Like I said, the agencies, they have particular agencies that are recognized that you must go through. You can't go through any agency. So for those of you who contact me for further guidance, I'll be giving you the contacts to those agencies and how you can upload everything and your CV and so on. I thought about also telling you about the process. How will the process work? So like I said, in the Netherlands, you'll have to collect, of course, wherever you're staying, the embassy, the consul, you collect the application forms, you make your application, pay for the application, of course. The application costs, I think, 350 euros for the au pair people. wait for the decision on the application, and then you can collect your MVV. And once you get to the Netherlands, then you have to collect your residence or work permits. And just keep in mind, it's not the au pair that applies for the work permit. It is the au pair family that must apply for the work permit or residence permit. And the small differences as regards work permit and residence permit for the Netherlands, but that is something that you don't have to worry about, because that is the responsibility of the au pair family. So I told you about how to find the au pair jobs. I told you about the sponsorship, what it costs, and the process a little bit. Again, I don't like the videos to be long, like most of you have said. So for any details or question as regards moving to the Netherlands as an au pair, for any guidance, for the need for the contacts and links for the sponsorship au pair agencies that are recognized in the Netherlands, and if you should start your process also, like for the visa application, I can offer you the consultations. Just DM me anywhere on my socials. Again, I go by the same name on all socials, except here on YouTube, there's an S at the end, but you can find me under Ruzhoff on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Snapchat. Thank you so much, my lovelies. Looking forward to meet you again in the next videos. Let me know in the comment section what more information you'd love to know from me, what kind of, like content as regards immigration, relocation, and all different types of issues that you'd like to know about. And I got you covered. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and share our channel. Road to 10,000K subscribers. Thank you so much.